I will talk about some mistakes made in Kiaro in my opinion. Don't get me wrong, I'm not trying to normalize here or say it's not wrong. Here I will talk about some things that I think Pochi and Flo did not do right. I'm sure most of you have seen this video or the video made by Kiaro Yun. Please do not misunderstand me. Even though Kirao is my close friend, I do not hold any hatred or bad thoughts towards Pochi and Flo. I have a good relationship with my three friends. I'm just here to tell you what they're doing wrong. If there's anyone here who shows themselves harming themselves, this is not the norm at all. So let me talk about what happened in the first place. This video may take a long time because I will also talk about text messages. The reason I do this is so that people who read subtitles can understand the event well, because I don't know English and I write these using the translation program. 1 or 2 weeks ago, me and Kiaro had a fight and I was really disappointed about it. I told Floy I think I'm friends with the wrong person with instant anger and sadness. I'm ashamed of myself right now for even thinking about this issue like this. But I'm someone who makes a really quick decision or the wrong thing when something happens. But later I found out why Kiaran acted like this and apologized to me really nicely. This incident was close between us and after I learned these, I trusted her again. Well, there is no problem here. The reason I'm telling you this is that this issue is talked about in flow conversations and you can understand the events better. That's why it's better to tell the events in order. And I'm sure many of you have had an argument with your friend at least once. And I experienced the same thing with Kiaro. But we solved everything by talking. Because I know that Kiaro are with me in my difficult times. And every person can be overwhelmed by this situation when problems come one after another. And I don't want to talk much about what I experienced with my friend. Because we understood each other. So let's get back to what it is. First of all, you may have probably seen this video about Kiaro. And the videos made by Gacha Ranters about this subject. Flo contacted me the day after Kiaro made her video. Flo briefly asked me did I had seen the video Kiaro made, and told me how dangerous it was. And I told him yes I saw it and maybe Kiaro did it because it was trending. Flo briefly told me, in the normal trend, people use a marker or pen, but the video made by Kiaru is different. Instead she uses a cutting tool. And when I learned this, I felt really bad and even more doubtful that Kirao could do this in real life. Because there's no video out there that inspired it and made differently from trending videos. Why did she show this as normal? Maybe she does this in his normal life and now she considers it normal? We cannot know whether she did this or not because none of us have seen Kiaro in real life. Flo explained to me that she wasn't joking and that she saw people do like Kiaro did about this in the comments. I told Flo I thought Kiaro was doing it just for the trend and I asked Flo if she talked to Cairo about this issue. Flo told me that she could not do this because of the recent events with Kiaro. At that time, I said I can talk to Kiaro about this and I wanted to help. Flo told me, this is the best solution. We better do this before Gacha Ranters. And I entered the WhatsApp application to contact of Kiaro. But I have a question in my mind. What does Flo want me to ask? I wrote Flo this topic about this to ask what is the best thing to do. And I asked Flo what should I write. What Flo said to me was, just say that her recent video is getting controversial because of the tool she used to do the F70 for trend and that Gacha Randers are aware of this. And Flo mentioned that I could add comments as evidence. I wrote this to Kiaro, and I told Flo that I would let her know whenever Kiaro replies. Later, Kiaro replied to me. What Kiaro said to me was, this has become a trend, and the marker is not working to do this. I did what I said and told the Flo about these messages. Also I told her that I did not want to get involved in this matter and asked her not to share the messages. Because I never asked Kiaro anything about show these messages, and sharing private messages is not the right thing to do. That's why I wanted to keep this situation at me with Flo. I just helped Flo with this issue. And since she can't contact with Kiaro, I did this for Flo. After Kyron's answer, Flo did not ask another question, and Flo said that there was nothing she could do about the Gacha Ranters. Flo didn't even ask Kiaro to put a warning on the video for this situation. After Flo asked me,
One question. Can I use this conversation up until your screenshot of the reply for a potential video regarding the situation?
and I said no please and jokingly said that Kiaro would kill me. I'm saying this so that some people do take it seriously in the comments. What I'm doing is irony, and you can understand it from the emojis. So I'm not seriously. I told Flo that before Kiaro got angry at me because she found out that I had shared our private messages with a friend without Kirao's permission, and we had a fight. Of course, I am guilty of this, because it is forbidden to share private messages with anyone and after I apologized to Kiaro for this. A few days have passed since Flo. In this TikTok video, there is someone who shows harming himself. And I asked Flo about this video. Is a warning necessary for this too? And she simply said yes. And Flo asked me, did Kiaro scold me about the message? I explained that no, nothing happened like that, but I told by a close friend of this. Yes, that friend is me. But since Kiaro had not seen this video, she did not know about it a video, because as Flo in the community said, Kiaro had blocked Flo from Instagram and even YouTube. That's why it was not possible for Kiaro to see this video. I understood this better when I talked
First, if Kiaro is good. And you could also ask her to change it title and wear it in warning. Without making a video, but you just wanted Kiaro to ask me why she did this.
Well, I want to ask you to understand the issue. If you see someone showing that a person are harming themselves and you realize that there is no warning, would you make a video about it after first asking why did you do this? Or would you ask someone who is showing that they are harming themselves and normalizing it, how are you? Why are you normalizing this, or do you need support? And after, can you add a warning? Which one more logical? And I think it would be more logical to ask Kiaro to put a warning and after make a video if Kiaro did not accept it. But Flo, you didn't ask Kiaro to put a warning on Vide. You didn't ask if she was okay. And here's someone who seems to have hurt himself. And don't worry, of course, before making this video, I talked to Flo about this issue, and we even had a little fight. And you told me that there was someone else who said something like that to you about this issue, and you still didn't do anything? And then tried to change the subject. You questioned me and Kiaro's friendship, after you got more pushy about it. And when I asked then, you said to me, I couldn't do that, because Kiaro seemed pretty aware and confident. Excuse me? You didn't feel the need to do this and you didn't think it was important because Kiaro looked so confident of what she did. This cannot be an excuse. You should have done at least that. And I told you at first that I thought you were worried about Kiaro, and you say it might seem like that because you saw people trying to do the same thing in the comments. When I asked you which one looks more dangerous, you said both. Then why didn't you worry about Kiaro too? You say that both of them look dangerous, but you didn't care about Kiaro because he looked too pretty aware and confident. This is not an excuse, and what you are doing is wrong. And then you talked about how the problem isn't the itself, the problem is. You said many felt invalidated or invited to do self-harm. And have you ever asked, why did you show it like that? I asked the question to by Flo, and you told me.
I was hoping by you asking her, she would realize this can be problematic and would do the necessary changes without having the troubles to make a video.
Hoping is not an excuse. And I asked you a question, what you wanted me to ask Kiaro. Why would you hope for this? And some conversations we had later, I told him that I was going to make a video about this topic. And I just did it. And you say Kiaro will use to ignore you. Then you could have asked me to make a group speech with us, me and Kiaro as a group, and then I could report the matter to Kiaro. She could accept it, but we're not sure because you didn't want it. And also, when there was a drama between me and Pochi, Flo said in the video, you should have asked me for a group chat. Then now why don't you want the same? You both have Instagram, and you could have asked me to Kiaro unblock you and we could have a group chat. Well, after some conversations, I said,
And remember, Kiara is not an adult and she's still a minor, so you can't expect much from her.
and why did you remind me of our old incident instead of giving a proper answer? This made me really upset and angry. She apologized after when I apologized too. Then I remembered an incident that I used to send to Flo and Pochit. Well, to put it briefly, there is a user on TikTok who uses a hand props without giving credit, just like I used to do. When I saw this, I showed this situation to Flo and Pochi, and the only answer to Flo me, oh, she didn't give the credit. She didn't warning the person or didn't do it anything. Flo or Pochi never talked about it afterwards. This incident happened 2-3 months ago and I didn't say anything because I waited for her to do something. I have no problem with the user who did this. I just came to talk about the injustice. Well, no problem about this issue. Neither of them may want to make a video about this topic, or Flo may not want to give any warning. If she said I didn't want to do this, there wouldn't be any problem because you can't force anyone to do anything. But you have to see that the excuses she gave me, Flo said.
It is possible that those hands are from a gacha mod. So I can't expose for a gacha mod unless the gacha mod has more trace stuff.
If there was a gacha mode, it would be available in the unedited version too. but these are the only ones in the edited scene. Got it? And that's no excuse not to do it.
Well, and when I said that, she didn't answer me and tried to change the subject again. And later, when I asked him to answer me, I received no response, and she only tell me Mitsuki. Well, I am sharing the messages here in case you want to read them later. One of the reasons why I finished this video late is that I'm dealing with the commission right now, and the video took really long. I would also like to inform you that I received permission from Flow itself to share these messages. And later I apologized to her if I had been rude to her, and she apologized to me for some of her words. One of the reasons why I made this video is to show the Flow what she did wrong and want TP people to be more sensitive about it if someone shows them harming themselves. Also, I'm sorry if I was really rude, but what I'm talking about is that my friend has shown herself to be self-harming, and that really can't be normal behavior. Please, let's be sensitive about these issues and first ask the people who show this if they are okay. I do not support the normalization and video that Kiaro shows, but I also do not support the things that have been done against her. Even though she was my friend, I never saw her in real life, and I'm sure no one has seen it. So let's be careful on social media. No one knows someone's real life and what they go through. Thank you for watching and your understanding. See you in the next video.